Hmm. Hello friends, how are you doing? Today we shall be talking on the Google SERP Ranking Factors, and this is the fifth session of this series I have been running since last 4 weeks. It is today the fifth session, and today we shall be learning about how to get our websites ranked in Google SERP Ranking in best way possible for us with our resources, strategies, and the kind of expertise we may have along with us at a particular moment. So I start with the presentation here. Today it's like we will be talking on 204 Google search ranking factors. Then we shall look on the most important sub-factors of all. Then some general search facts, and then search aggregations and groceries. And then we will wrap up the round, and then we will end up the session like that. So, taking on the point of Google search ranking, here we see a beautiful categorization of the factors in groups of activities or categories of kind of nature of activities you can say here. Like we have here the search engine, for example, Google at the top, and then here the get product site format. It can be a website, it can be an application, or whatever kind of other kind of digital products we may have. So this is like an indication of the connection from this product to the Google search engine, and both way we have a series of activities defined here, and in yellow these are the numbers of activities we can do under each of these categories. One is domain level activities, then or you can call it as domain level factors of ranking on Google search. Then we have on-site web scan factors. Then we have off-site web scan factors like 16 here, 19 here. Then we have another category of search engine algorithms. In that category, we shall talk on the factors, and then brand level factors which shall be like 11 in number. Then this page we come to the right side. Here we shall be talking about site and server level factors for the ranking on Google. Same in similar way, page level technical activities we shall be talking on. Then we shall be taking on the page level semantic factors, and then backlinks profile signals, the biggest section of the SERP ranking factors, and then the last one we shall be taking on user interaction factors. So that way, it makes it like a total of 204 factors, which we shall be now taking upon in next slides one by one. Here we have domain level factors, ranking factors, and it has 10 factors under two subcategories. Like one is around the domain demographics, like we have the demographic factors defined around a human being on the basis of the characteristics a man may possess or a human may possess. Similar way, there are factors which Google counts regarding ranking your any of links of your website or even your website as one link. So the first factor is the domain age. This is much of a factor, but it doesn't matter hardly for Google that if your domain is 6 months older or 1 year older. It doesn't make a big difference in Google ranking factors. Second one is domain registration duration length. Yes, this factor is somehow a point of consideration if you have booked a domain for several years in one go, like for 5 years or 10 years, instead of just renewing it yearly basis, like for 1 year, then second year, then third year. If you will book a domain for more than 5 or 10, something like 10 years, that is like one factor for the consideration about your authenticity in Google ranking algorithms. Then third point is the domain history. Well, Google says that don't get penalized at any moment in Google. If purchasing existing domain, then check out about this in their history. When you are purchasing a domain, and if it is already existing, and you are going for that one and taking it from someone else, then before taking purchasing this domain, you should do a free purchase check on the certain parameters before buying that particular domain. Or if you are registering a fresh one, the new one, fresh most domain from scratch, then it's okay. Just take care of one thing in both cases, that don't get penalized by Google in any way. So if you will be penalized, it shall be counted in your domain history. Then there is one information which is called as who is. Who is information which is like a yellow directory address kind of detail about your website present on who is website, and there it shall all have to be public. It should not be hidden in any sense, because it will give a bad impression, and then you will may not garner this benefit here, that yours who is information, if it is private, it should always be public. Then if you are penalized, who is owner? Other, if you have been penalized for this kind of penalty, then it shall scrutinize your other websites too. If you are penalized for example, if you have multiple websites and you are penalized for one of them, then they have your who is information, because your who is information would be same for your other websites also. So if one of them is penalized, they will scrutinize your all of other websites also. So be always very careful about keeping everything neat and clean and transparent in terms of giving information. Be honest, fill in your own details, and make it a proper record there, and that way you can avoid these kind of penalties. Otherwise, you may face scrutinizing on all of your websites. Then if there's one more factor about which people talk about, that what if we book the domain name for local country markets? Well, it depends on the kind of business you are in. If you are playing globally, then you should go preferably for .com or .org kind of extensions of your domain. If you are playing local, Poland and .us for USA. That can be beneficial for you on local grounds, but only when you are playing within a boundary of the country. So that way, we move to the next. It is here the keywords in the domain. In the domain name, if you have the keywords there, it's okay. It will be moderately relevant for the search engines to uh, consider your link, but it won't boost your SEO as such. The another point here is, though it is a quality parameter, it will reflect the quality of your product, your website, your link, but it won't do much on boosting of the SEO for you. The second point is the first word of domain as keyword. If the first domain of your first keyword of the domain, the word of the domain is a keyword of your business. It gives an edge to you over the others. Yes, the place of the keyword in the domain, that is something of the matter here. So you should always use keywords in the first place of your domain. Itself gives an edge to your website in your market niche. The next is the keywords in subdomain. So in this point, you may have domain, then you may have subdomains also. It helps you in boosting your website. It helps you giving you a jump as per the study of Moj. Moj says that if you use keywords in your subdomains, it makes a healthy aura of your website and the healthy appeal in terms of a good SEO. So you may get an edge over the others in this regard. Exact match domain. People sometimes try for these kind of keywords that they will make, like if you have one website for search engine purpose or digital marketing, you will make the exact match of the keywords in the URL itself if that particular matching URL is available for you. Well, that is like risky also. It can give you a chance of being uh, captured for those particular keywords only, but then you will be vulnerable on other uh, rest of the keywords, and you will be missing a big bit of the market, a big chunk of the market, which you will not be covering due to that exact match. So try for the exact matches in topic specific URLs or the category specific URLs, but not in the main URL uh, until or unless you are like going for a specific market or a very small segment of your business and like that. So that way, these are 10 domain level ranking factors, and if we follow them, we can make our domain level look and feel appealing to Google search engines and similarly for the other search engines like Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, Yandex, etc. So let me just check if there is any comment from any of the viewers. Okay, thank you. So far, okay, just thinking nothing else. We go to the next slide here. We have the next category. Right now we have like taken up on the domain level. Now we are taking up here for the page level technical ranking factors. In this one, there are three subcategories: meta tag factors, page speed factors, page URL, and authority. What are meta tags? We already have covered this topic in details in our one of the past sessions, which was dedicated on on-page SEO. So if you want to know about the in-depth information on meta tags, then you may refer to my that video. It is there in my timeline also. Or you may then go to YouTube by searching the marketing or this YouTube channel, and there you shall get this video dedicated to the on-page SEO meta tags also there. So now, what is the use of meta tags here in getting you a better ranking in the Google search position? First of all, there should be like keywords in the title tag or not. What should be the structure on that? People are always like asking, demanding that should we include the keywords in the title tag. Well, it is not as such important as of the days nowadays. Yeah, initially or previously you can say in the past it was important, but now moderately a matter of concern for SEO. Having keywords in title tag, but not overly stuffed in a balanced manner, it shall help to your website to get eye on your content. Then we have the next title tag starts with keyword. If you have a keyword in the beginning of your title, yes, like a domain, just we talked here in this one, in the beginning of a domain, if you have a keyword. Similar way, if we have a keyword in title also in the beginning, yeah, it performs better than others of the market niche of your products or the similar kind of pages. If you have this one in the beginning, it is remarkable for you to get noticed by the search engines crawlers. The next point is the keywords in description tag. Yeah, in the description tag, it doesn't matter for Google, but for getting a good CTR, to get an impact of good result in terms of ranking on Google's, obviously you need a good CTR. And to get a good CTR, it is required for you to put your keywords in your description tag, though Google doesn't count it as a ranking factor. Then next point is keywords appear in H1 tag. Well, H1 is like second title of your article, your post. After the title tag, it is the H1 tag which is notified or which is looked upon by Google search crawlers. And then if they will see the keywords there, it impacts. It impacts on your ranking as a secondary relevancy signal. Obviously, the first one is the title tag, then this one is the H1 tag. Yes, it is a point of matter. So always try to put the relevant keywords in H1 tag. Here, what you can do is like you can put the most important keywords in the title tag, the very first one, which is notified, noticed always, or which is always like looked upon by Google crawlers. And then here it is like the second one, which is looked upon after title. So the second category of your keywords, you can put them all here, but in a relevant manner. Always don't trust for putting them in like a stuffed manner or overcrowded. Then we have the other heading titles, heading text H2, H3. There are six H1, H tags, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. Very first one is the most important. Second two are almost equally important. The next ones are okay. It's not such a big matter of concern that you focus on those keywords or not, but they are important in terms of dividing your content into blocks. So H4, H5, H6 text can be used in that sense, but in terms of ranking, it is up to H1, H2, H3. Uh, H2, H3 is a weak signal, but it helps in understanding the content of your structure. John Mueller is a Googler, and according to his findings, he says that you should use these tags, but they won't help in much in ranking, but in understanding the content structure of your page or of your post, whatever it can be in terms of a product. Then next factor in the meta tags is the TF idea. It is a term frequency inverse document frequency. It is numerical static, which refers how important a word is to a document. Like it gauges the use or in terms of frequency, depth, and utility. You can say that on what level, how frequently a particular keyword is used in that document, and how relevantly that keyword defines the purpose of that particular document, which can be an article, which can be a post in simple terms. So in that terms, it Google understand, make it reading for them that which words your article defining around the topic, and that way they get to understand that your page is about what kind of words. So in one sense, yeah, it matters, and that is why you will be using the LSI keywords also. You will not be using a particular keyword in excess, in out of limit. Uh, Make it a reasonable use with LSI keyword, latent semantic indexing keywords. These are like synonyms of a particular topic which you may have, and when you are tired of using one particular keyword again and again, then you can opt for this kind of synonym or LSI keywords, which is like here also a seventh ranking factor in meta text category. And yes, it gives the signals of relevancy if it is used in your titles and descriptions. So that way, we now move next to the page speed factors of your page level technical ranking factors. First point is the page loading speed via HTML. Keep it neat and clean. It is about the code of your document. It is about the HTML code also. It is about the CSS code also. It is about JavaScript, and then it is about the other master language which you might be using over HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. That can be Java, the bigger Java itself, C++, Python, ASP.NET, or PHP, whatever it can be. Always keep it all clean and neat. Then next factor is the page loading speed via Chrome. Yes, if your website is observed fastly loading on the Google Chrome browser, well, that is the prime source from where Google gets signal about the speed of your website. And if you are fast on Google Chrome, then it's all okay for Google. They shall count you as a fast website. The next point is the use of AMP, active mobile pages. Yes, uh, always make sure that the mobile version of your website is optimized and it has a user-friendly interface. If you have that all properly adjusted on your mobile versions, you will get a ranking benefit from Google, especially for your mobile pages. Then we have patent entity match. This is a particular kind of entity on. This is a link given from the US government website where Google also get many patents about their products and entities, and if you might get one of them through this website, you may have a benefit in Google in terms of ranking. To visit this website, you may click here and then you can go and check out on the things. The next point on the page speed is the canonical URL. It is proper use. Its proper use prevents you from duplicacy penalizing. Sometimes there are pages created due to requirement, also due to any kind of compulsion, also that you have a page already existing on one topic, but you now require to create one another page on the same topic with almost, let us say, 80 or 90% same material. In that situation, what you do always use this HTML code. The relevancy is equal to canonical, because what it shall do, it shall transfer the web traffic of your older page to your new website. So that way, you always be using relevancy is equal to canonical in cases of duplicate content. If you won't use it, you may get penalized by Google, because then it is like counted as a spamming, that you are not serious, you are not cleaning your things, you are making a post about your content on the internet, and that will not be a symbol or signal of discipline to them. Okay, then we move to the next. Here we shall talk about the page URL in particular and its authority. We always get a validation from W3C website on your HTML errors. The well-coded page is a quality signal. W3C is a well-known website. Whoever is doing SEO activities or in the business of online website development, they all are known to be W3C validation. So if in case you do not know, then you can ask your technical help or your technical source to ensure that you have this validation on your website. Then there is domain authority. Well, jump the page authority. Yes, if your website is getting recognized and it is attaining some definite level of domain authority, which is normally calculated with a scale of 0 to 100, and you should have minimum 20 points on that to be counted as an authority of your business, your marketplace, and in that situation, your link will be counted on as a domain authorized, a domain of authority on your website. And then the page is page rank. The pages which have a good page rank, they can outrank other pages with lower authority than you. So always try for this, and to do this, you have to produce and maintain a quality content, updated content, very user-friendly website, and that page should also be user-friendly. All those factors in a combination boost your website, gives your website the reason to get a good page rank. Then we have URL length. Note here that the topmost pages, whatever it shall be, getting on the top rank in Google search, their usual character length is 15 to 17 characters. And if you will slip down to one position lower, let us say 9 to 10, or let us say 1 to 10 on the first page, you will find that the average length of every URL is 30 characters. So always try to be like that. Don't over crowd your URLs, over length your URLs uselessly. It won't be counted as a serious factor to take you serious by Google. Then we have next the URL path. Always try to make a zero architecture of your website and try to keep all of your pages as closer to the home page as possible. This the all pages of your website should be like accessible from the home page very easily. So always keep it in mind that the path of your website, the pages on your website, it shall be very beautifully defined in terms of segments. And then next point is the park domains. In the park domain section, you will see here that since December 2011, Google has decreased the visibility of such websites which have the park domains. Park domain is like you have put up a screen on your website of something else, and when someone is clicking on that, they are going nowhere out. So don't do that. If you are not online, then use a proper 404 error signal and use that instead of getting it into this kind of trap of park domain. The next point is the keywords in the URL. Yes, of course, they matter. If you have the keywords in the URL, they are very likely to be uh, captured or to be noticed by Google crawlers. Then we have the URL string. These URL strings are always read by Google, and from this, Google always try to get a thematic signal about your pages. That what kind of theme is talked on your website or on your page, so that they can make a sense of the relevancy with the search demanded by the user sitting on the Google search engine. So that way URL string is also important here. Then the page rank, page age. Well, you have a page. Always try to regular update it, and always try to keep it fresh, because old pages always outperform the newer pages, because their authenticity is bigger than any new entry in the market. So always go for it, and always uh, maintain your old pages with the freshest possible content, or maybe the information available with you. Then we have next the WordPress tag. Yes, these tags also help your website in getting a good ranking, and they are specially used for grouping your pieces of information you post together in the tools, which is the WordPress tag tool. There you can group your topics, and then you can create a well-structured website with the help of this feature of WordPress. So that way, we have covered these 17 total page level technical factors, and in total we have now talked about 27 total ranking factors so far. Let me just check if any comment over there in the boxes or not. Okay, it's fine. No, that's just something to take on the query. Here we will talk about the 29 page level semantic ranking factors. In this category, we have four subcategories. Like one is for the content freshness, then mobile page category, then page category and user experience, and then we have page content and quantity and quality factors. You take with the content freshness, whatever images you have on your website, always optimize them. Always name the files of images, fill up their alt text, and then title, description, and captions. Fill up all them, because these are the criteria through which Google crawlers will know about what kind of image is yours. If these fields are empty, they will never be able to know about what kind of image you have on your website. The next point is the Google caffeine content recency. It is highly important, which shows the last update date in search result. Google Caffeine is a web indexing system. If you might have noticed on some of the Google search results, there is a date that when the lastly that content was pressed or updated. That is coming through this Google Caffeine content recency mechanism. So always try to implement in your post, and get the benefit of this ranking factor. Then we have next the magnitude of content updates. It matters add or remove entire sections in a page instead of reordering. You can add or remove the content, but don't do a reordering on the content. It won't give a good impression to Google crawlers and even your users, especially your repeated users. They won't be expecting what is already set in their mind about your page, and what kind of information you have inserted in their mind through your page. So always keep maintain the order the initially it has been, but if you require, you can add or remove the content sections on that page. Then we have the historical page updates. Always go for it. Do it daily, weekly, monthly, or annually. It matters. You have to make it updated, especially if it is more than a year old. Then your page requires a update if you want to sustain in the market, and you still want to get traffic to that page. Here are now the points on the mobile page front. Mobile-friendly updates. Mobile June 2015 Google algorithm. It gave priority to the sites that display well on smartphones. This was an algorithm of Google released in 2015, and their aim was to give priority to those websites in the search results, especially on the mobile searches, which have a good display on smartphones, and it is still in work. So always try to have your content on your mobile page is also up to date and user friendly too. Then we have the next point here of the user mobile usability. Mobile friendly sites can easily get an edge in Google as a mobile first indexing mechanism. If your website has a good usability for users, it shall get the indexed repeatedly. Don't try to go for it because it is critical content and it should be not practiced. Don't hide anything on your mobile pages. Always make everything visible, even if it is about hovering over by using your mouse on any kind of URL or that kind of content. Always use such colors which shall keep your content visible in both situations, in natural looking situation also and in hover over of the mouse on that content situation also. Next point is here is coming with the category and user experience. Well, there are human editors, they can still influence the stuff with positive reviews. Google has filed a patent for it. There are human editors which sit on the desks in Google and they review your content manually also to get you ranked in the relevant results, but they choose only very limited amount of the pages which are like considered very high quality pages and they review them with the human editors also. Then we have the page category. There shall be a categorized menu of your website. It should be set in silo architecture style so that silo architecture which shall be with a tabulated form that shall help the users to understand the content structure of your website and that way it shall uh, be easy for Google also to set a relevancy with your content and that way you shall get a relevancy post in terms of ranking on Google. Next is the priority of paging sitemap. Yeah, in that case, what matters here is the XML version of your sitemap. Always uh, make sure that whenever you create a new website or you create a new page on your website, your sitemap is properly updated, properly submitted on Google Search Console tool. Then you have next the UX signal from other keywords, page rank score. It is a sign of quality and value to you or your website in Google's eye. So always try to make a good user experience of your website by making it more interactive, more talkative, more scrolling easy, and in that sense, it shall give you a boost in terms of good ranking because users will keep visiting your website and whenever there happens any kind of repeated visits, Google notify them with the analytical tools and on that terms you get an edge here if your website is repeatedly visited by your users or your visitors. The next point here is the user-friendly layout. Well, it is about again the uh, focus uh, again to focus on the main content of your website. Main content it can be of the homepage also, it can be of your internal pages also. Whatever is there as a main content which you want the users to study or to read in first go, always highlight that. Always keep that on top of your pages and make it as much as visible as possible above the fold. Above the fold of the page is the screen by default when a website opens up on your web screen. Whatever content without scrolling is coming on that page, that is called as the above the screen content. When that screen is scrolled down and the content coming then after the scrolling of that page, that is called as the below the fold. So always try to keep your main content of your website or your page is whatever that is on the above the fold portion of your screen. Now we move to the quantity and quality factors of a page ranking in terms of semantic ranking factors of your page. This is one study getting from Google itself that average page which gets ranking in first top 10 Google search results, their content size is always like varying between 9,000 words to 4,000 words, and on average, each of such pages have like 1,447 words in each of them. So from here you can get a easy idea that whenever you are writing any article or whenever you are writing a post, always try to at least touch this average figure here in terms of count of words on your content. Then we have the table of content. It helps to understand you better. Always try to make a table of content in terms of like whenever you have a blog post, you have left right navigation on that, and in the left or right side you can choose there over, and then you can give a table of content either on that part or in the very beginning of your content of the main body itself, there it shall have a table of content, so that without bothering to read until the end of the page, users could get that what they are going to read in that particular post of yours. And sometimes it is always helpful to create their interest and motivation to get your pages read until the end of the writing. So it is always helpful for you. Always create a table of content, put it on top of your page or the side menu, side navigation over there, whatever design you may have of your website. Then next point is the keyword density. Slightly helpful it is, but more of the usable side of this particular factor is that it determines you the topic of your page. So keep it sensible, use it logically. Don't go blindly just for making your topic full of the keywords only, but the sense should also be there. Then it is about the LSI latent semantic indexing keywords in content here. We have this is the point here in the keywords in the content. We had one here in the description and title tag LSI keyword. This is about the meta tags here. We had this one in the uh, technical ranking section, but here we have also this in the content section. So it always works as a content quality factor for your website, and it helps in extracting the meaning from the words with multiple meanings. If, for example, there is a topic around apple, apple can be a fruit, apple can be an iPhone, or uh, other byproducts of apple. So if you are talking about fruit, you have to use those kind of words like fruit and all, taste or health or this kind of words, which shall help in understanding and in defining the topic or around your page. And similar way, if it is about any product of Apple, then you have to let us say if it is about iPhone, you have to use iPhone there. Those kind of keywords are like uh, mandatory to insert in your pages so that a proper sense of your topic could be cached by the Google crawler, and they could then fetch your product, your page in the Google search results accordingly. Because first of thing that Google won't fetch you at all if they won't understand the topic or the content of your website. In case if it is fetched in the wrong way, then it won't also help, because sometimes it also happens that if some user is like looking for Apple only, and they are not putting there the extension in terms of defining the products with adjective sense. Like when they are putting apple, either they put their fruit along with the keyword, or they put there the iPhone or iPad or whatever. Then until that is not put, that is not defined, and only Apple word itself, it may happen that Google will produce results around iPhone also, around Apple fruit also in the same result. So it depends on the kind of structure you may have. Here, if you will have the right keywords, it shall help to get you sensibly ranked in the proper required or defined search results. You may not like to be ranked in the Apple iPhone pages if your page is about Apple fruits, or if you are selling Apple fruits on e-commerce website, you won't like if it is appearing there. Even Google won't also appreciate it. Okay, the next point is the page cover topic in depth. Yes, of course, so that is all we have been talking in the point four. Next is the Google Hummingbird. This is a focus by Hummingbird for you to use right natural language rather than forced keywords. Don't rush for anything in a hurry. Make a sense of your words. Make a sense of your content. Only then you shall be taken seriously. Uh, that way, we move to the next point. Duplicate content. It is again the same point which we have just talked here, but here in technical terms. Now here we are talking about it and the content semantic terms, the canonical factor which we just talked here. Here it is again don't go for these kind of things. Always try to keep unique content. If you have any duplicate content, try to delete the less relevant content and keep the most relevant. Keyword prominence. So whenever you are writing any topic, always try to define the language of your topic in such a way that the most of your keywords which you have chosen for ranking your page, they should be coming in the first 100 keywords of your content. Like here we talk that if we have put this much length of our content, let us say 1500 words. Even then in that also, it should also be like most of your keywords should be covered here also. You may use them later on in the downside content also, but contextually. Here also you have to use them sensibly, but it is just a push to you that you should try to include your prominence keywords in your list of first 100 words of your article. Well, then grammar and spelling, yes, obviously there should not be any mistake on this part when we are creating a content. It should always be neat and clean, grammatically also, spelling wise also. Indicated content should be original. It is if it is scrapped or copied from an index page, it won't rank as well as or may not get indexed at all. So, well, it is about originality of your content. Don't go for syndicated content or already existing content and you are copying it from there. You shall be like penalized for that and you may not get any ranking on that. It is plagiarism we call in terms of the SEO language that don't do the plagiarism with your content. The next point is the helpful supplementary content. If you have any kind of content in terms of currency converter, in terms of loan interest calculator, in terms of interactive recipes, can get an quality indicator. Because such kind of supplementary content which could be useful to users, it helps you increase the dwell time on your website. It helps to get the users stay on your website for a longer time. So always try to use them, but in a sensible manner again. Make a context of those things. Don't add up those things just for formality of adding or blindly. Always be sensible. Then we have content hidden behind tabs. Again, we have talked about it. That is always a point of being transparent in your content and whatever you have written in your language. Don't hide in cosmetic setups or cosmetics designings and looks and feel factors. Always use contrasting color schemes and make it visible with ease of eye-catching kind of combination of colors and all that. Then we have multimedia content. Always try like content quality signal. It is in terms of ranking on Google. Multimedia is counted as a quality content factor. 98% pages at position 1 in Google have at least one image. So this is a study which tells you that how important it is that if you have uh, some kind of image or any other multimedia content on your website, Google says that 98% of the results in their searches have at least one such item. So always go for it. Reading level of your website should always be defined, and it is graded in three grades in terms of Google quality factors. They grade it on basic, intermediate, and advanced level. So here you have to keep the readability of your website very prominent and very sharp, but pleasing to the eyes of the users also. So always be fair in making your content readability as viable as possible. Then we have the referencing and the sources. Well, it is a kind of bibliothek or bibliography links we are talking here. You try to use those links in between the content itself instead of listing them at the bottom. Try to use them wherever it is talked about that particular reference and use it there itself. Then we have bullets and number list. Obviously, this kind of listing and numbering of your content can help the users to make it a more user friendly reading experience. Then the useful content, obviously, Google always distinguishes between quality and useful content. Whenever there is a quality content, that's okay, but if it is of no use to users, Google won't consider it. So be cautious here. Quality matters, but along with usability. If your content is of no use, your content is your content may be of any kind of quality in terms of language, in terms of grammar use, in terms of spelling use, or in terms of neat and clean content. Whatever you may have uh, the good quality parameters implemented on your website, but if it is of no use to any user, it will be like useless for you. So it has always to be the combination of quality and usefulness of your content. So that way we covered like 56 total ranking factors so far. Just let me have a look on the comments if there is any. Okay. Now we move next to the site and server level ranking factors. Here we shall be talking about the site level factors and the ranking factors. Content provides value and unique insights. The thin affiliate sites. Thin affiliate sites are like they are using the content of other websites and they put it like an affiliate. Don't go for that. It is always harmful. It won't be bringing you anything new, and you may get sunlight like Google. Then we have contact us page. Always keep it and maintain it in a good quality because it counts for the who is websites of web directories from where people look about your information, and it should always match with them. The information on your contact us page should not only be correct but always matching with the who is information also, which you have given on who is website. Next is the domain trust and trust rank factor. Here you have Google does trust-based ranking. You should have a good level of trust of your domain, and that is achieved by continuous publishing of useful quality content, and then regularly updating your website. Silo architecture we already have talked about. Always maintain your website in a Silo architecture pattern. Then we have frequency of updates. Again, we have told on always keep your website up to date. And then the next is the sitemap. Always keep XML sitemap. Then HTML sitemap can also be there, but that won't help in SEO. But obviously, that will help your users to understand the content structure of your website. But when it comes to the SEO, it is the XML primarily. Then we have the site uptime. Always try to keep your website live all time. Never ever let it go down. Otherwise, it may get be indexed. Then we have server location. Server location matters here. So if your server is near to the market which you target with your website, you will get an edge on that. SSL certificate is obviously the biggest ranking factor. It is a tiebreaker. Like whenever you have two websites almost of same content, and what factor with which you will differentiate to choose one of them. Then here comes the tiebreaker, that is the SSL certificate. SSL certificate is like in the URL. There are two kind of indexing you will find there, and in the URL we will get HTTP mentioned or HTTPS mentioned. So this HTTPS means you are SSL certified, and that way uh, it will snatch your possibility of being considered by the user if you are not using S in your HTTPS. Then the policy pages, obviously, the pages on the footer always these should be updated, and this should be there very well, and maintain them. Privacy pages, policy pages, terms and condition pages, disclaimer, GDPR pages, etc. So that is all about the site level ranking factors. Now the server level. Here we have duplicate meta information on the site. Well, don't go for the duplicacy of the meta content. Always keep unique one format and one line of the meta tag information, and maintain it so that your website won't get down in the visibility. Breadcrumb navigation, it helps in knowing where they are. Breadcrumb is like, whenever you are on a page, there is this kind of mentioning that you started from the home page, then you come to products, then electronics, TV, and then Samsung. So this breadcrumb navigation is always helpful for Google, and they consider as a positive factor. So always use it in your website where obviously it is always possible. Make your ITSM to get you this thing. Mobile optimized, obviously if your website is mobile optimized on the server side, then as per a study here, like Hitwise is a consultancy firm who did a study and found that 58% of searches are made from mobile. And obviously this is a very big amount, and that is why it is always important to get your website optimized for the mobile use. Then you have the YouTube channel. Always, if you have videos from your own YouTube channel and they are also on your website also, or even they are independent, Google always prefer their own products and their content. Obviously, you will have an edge here. Site usability, well, it should not be difficult in use like navigation, and then the time on the navigation and pages. It always help in increasing the page views and decreasing the bounce rate, because if it is higher, the navigation efforts are higher, it will decrease. If they are less, it will increase. So always keep in mind that it should be usable. Then we have next the use of Google Analytics and Google Search Console accounts. Yes, you have to have those accounts, and your website shall always be properly related to them. But obviously, It is not as such, but a little bit helpful in improving your SEO also, as you will be notifying with the error reports, the kind of notifications you receive in Google Search Console, with the help of which you can improve your website anytime. Then you have next point here is the user reviews and site reputation. Your reputation on sites like Yelp.com, but it matters. But be careful, don't play tricks. Google self-catch you. Always be honest in mentioning of your website on websites like Yelp.com or whatever can be other similar sites. Try to have good reviews and it shall help you building a good reputation. So that way it is 73 factors covered here. We move to the next. We shall go a bit fast here now. Backlinks profile signals. Wherever we have, I will feel that it is a similar kind of point which is covered already. I will like to try to speak or maybe like try to wrap up that point quickly. Here, the point is the backlink anchor text, which is about the lexical and cosmetic signals of your links mentioned on your text. I am just taking all these 15 factors as an overview. Always don't use like no follow links. Make sure that no link is broken on your website. Do the guest posting, but moderately and cautiously. Don't left any kind of alt tag on images empty. They should always be filled. Link attribution title should always be there whenever the over text appears. It is the link attribution text. It should always be filled. Then titles in the keyword, the keyword of the title of the backlinks. Obviously, if there are keywords in the backlink you are getting on your website, it shall relate your website to Google easily. Then link location on pages is a strong factor, so don't just put your links in footer or sidebar, but always try in the main content. That way, the co-currency take a test try. Like for example, if you have Ford help to Google to tell completely about the page, so use them. If it is like take a test drive, always go for the similar or semantic words like Ford is the symbol of the brand and related to the vehicles. So that way it shall help this co-occurrence shall help Google to establish the relevancy. That way, schema should always be used. Always try the micro formatting of your content in terms of the content blocks. So that is always helpful for you. Word count of the linking is like a point of consultation here. Try links from post with word size 1,000 or more. So whenever you are getting for this, go for the links from such kind of pages which have the content size of more than 1,000. And that way you go down. Site-wide links like powered by, if you have backlinking powered by kind of thing, it won't help. It doesn't matter if you have the link there or it won't count everybody. Here it is about the quantity. Again, you have to take one balanced approach. Don't trust for blind backlinking. Just go sensibly. Make linking with the domains, they matters, but it has to be sensible. Here we move to the next point here, backlink quality signals. These are the major overview points I will take as a lump sum for you, and that way we will try to sum up the quality factors of backlinks. Always try to get backlinks from high authority websites, especially a website with a domain rank or a page rank above 60. If it is of a backlink of a website from high or even above than 60, for example, if it is above 80, it is even better. Links from ads are not of such importance. Don't waste time on them. Bad neighborhood always avoid. Don't get the links from the bad neighborhood. For example, spam websites or penalized websites or offline websites or whatever it can be, or uh, websites which are termed as illegal. Don't go for the links from those kind of websites. Uh, the other point we take here, like make a page relevancy. Don't trust for blind linking. If a page is not relevant to your topic or your website, don't go for it. It won't help much in ranking in Google. Link to Wikipedia page is also okay, but they use no follow, and that's why they may not add they may not add as such big value to your website. And then domain age and backlink age, it is one of the point here which Google counts. As much as old will be a backlink, it shall be counted as a big quality and ranking factor. So that way, always also try with the inserting the 301 link for redirecting your website to a new website if it is moved to a new URL. And like that kind of concept, we have important healthy quality signals here for making a healthy backlinks profile of your website. We move to now the user interaction factors. Here we have these 11 factors for making your website uh, randomly for Google crawlers to get a good ranking on. Always try for organic CTR for a keyword. If you have a good organic CTR, it is a good signal for your website. Bounce rate should always be obviously low, and if you will get a higher bounce rate, Google will get a signal that there is something fishy on your website, or users are not liking your content, or the design of your website may be the reason also. Then we have here another point of pogo sticking. Pogo sticking means that if your website is ranked at number one post on a particular keyword, but people are passing that one position and they are clicking on the second or third or fourth result. It shall get your website next time ranked down, and that way it is going to be a kind of pogo stick bouncing on your website. So always try that you should not face that kind of bouncing. So again, quality matters here, but if you will be studying with this one, you may be uh, suffering from ranking going down on your page. Then don't get feelings from blocked websites. Number of comments, it matters, but should be sensible. The time spent on your website is always a factor of ranking. So always use such practices which could increase the time on your website, the user time on your website. Then here with the user and ranking factors, we have the brand level ranking factors. Well, when you become a brand, like you are 2, 3, 4, 5 or more years old, present on the internet, then Google will have a special trust with you. Google will have a special love with you. But yours is the responsibility to make that love flourishing forever, or whatever you can call it, until or whatever the time you may have decided. In that case, always try with a brand name anchor text. Whenever someone is searching your website with your brand name, it gives Google a very strong signal that you are a brand in that market. So it is one of the biggest authenticity builder for you. So always try for aiming to develop your website as a brand. Then we have the next point here, the brand searches. If you will get big searches, then Google will it tells Google that you are a brand if you are searched. Then if you are searched with keywords, you have your brand name, and then someone is using a name additional keyword to that. For example, just I give above that if it is Apple and someone is using the iPhone word also along with that, then it is like if you are searched with a keyword, Google may give you a ranking boost for searches made on such keywords alone. When iPhone will be searched, your page of Apple will be appearing in the searches just because you have been used by researchers in combination with the keywords as a brand. Obviously, if you have a Facebook page, you have extra mile, Twitter page, LinkedIn page, all are there. If you have non-authorship, always display the details of the author in a snippet at the bottom of the article or maybe at the top or whatever make you comfortable with. It should always be there because it creates more sense of authenticity. Then the legitimacy of social media, obviously lots of followers if you have in social media, but always try to make a balance that followers should also be there and they should be interacting with your content. It's not like that you have 10,000 followers, but only two are commenting, two are like going for interaction on your content. Then we have brand mentions on top stories. In Google searches, whenever there is a brand, it shall be mentioned on the corresponding and related keywords in the top stories of the results. So that way we have next here the unlinked brand mentions. Google likely looks at non-hyperlinked brand mentions as a brand signal also. For example, if someone has mentioned about you in their web pages, but they did not insert the link of your website on that content, even then Google will notify you. So always be happy on that part that if someone is mentioning you, don't feel that if they are not pointing to your website, you will not be notified. You will still be notified by Google. So that way the last is here that brick and mortar location. Obviously, if you have a real business office, then always mention that and always show your business location and all that information possible on your website because it gives the sense of real brand of your website and they will get a sense that you exist in real time and you have a good reputation in terms of being honest in displaying your information and all. So that way we cover up here the brand level rankings. Next we move. Oh, so far we have covered 149 factors. We are left with around 55 more. Here we go with the Google search engine algorithm factors. Well, there are two levels. One is the search query level signals, and then one is the user taste signals. In the search query, freshness matters for the queries, especially for the news category kind of queries. Results should be always fresh, and that Google looks for. And if you are in that category of the business domain, that yours is a news website, so always be fresh, always be updated. Diversity of content it always matters for them and the queries also being done on that pattern if there is an ambiguous query, for example WWF. WWF stands for World Wrestling Federation, World Wildlife Fund and Worldwide Fund for nature. It is like a similar example I just have talked before of that Apple example, like Apple iPhone and Apple Fruit. Here also, like if you are using one abbreviation for research of WWF, you will get results in combination on these three, let us say, minimum three topics here. If there is something else also which stands for WWF, it may happen that you may get result on that also. So it is like query results diversity. Then the next point is like transaction searches. On the shopping related keywords, they are joined with the service promotion sites, and it may not be a necessary expectation from the search that if you are intended to book a flight, you will get the results of flight booking websites only. You may get the results on the flight timing also. So that way, this is how transactional queries are produced with the results in the Google search. Then local search is always preferred, and it is like you will be ranked for your local market on organic results also. Next is about the big brand preferences. Yes, obviously get boost on certain keywords, shopping results there, image results, Easter egg results are like they are used by Google to foster bonding, but only 20% times. For example, when you search for a game, search result turn into a playable game button. So that is sometimes Google try to make you feel kidding or feel light and not let you get bored wherever. That also Google can take care of your part. Then single site results for a brand. Domain or brand oriented keywords bring up several results from a single website. Well, if it is about your brand search and Google is giving a crawling to your website, and it is all about your brand itself, and it may happen that all of the 10 results on the SERP of the Google may come from your own website, or half of them may be of your own website. So that way, how Google search algorithms work. Then payday loan website, the algorithm clean up very spammy queries. Payday loan updates are like this spammy content which appears appeasing, promising something heavy, but in real they are like spams. So Google call them payday loans, and they always update them, they always remove them, they clean them. Their algorithm is like that, that such kind of content won't be appearing, or otherwise in list number maybe somewhere deep down on the second or 10th or 12th or 100th pages or like that. So that way it is about search query signals. Now we set off on the user page signals. Well, your user browser history, the Google Chrome history is always monitored by Google to suggest you best results on the queries. Whenever you will search something on your browser, and Google will come to know that you have been doing searches around that keyword in past too, then Google may crawl you, fetch you the results from already visited websites also. If you shall put your search on safe search, Google will make sure that you won't get any curse word or adult content on your website. And that is the feature which you have in your browser. So if you will put it on, you will be safe in searches and you will not get any kind of adult or objectionable content. Featured just some effect, yes, obviously they are like a combination of page authority, HTTP usage of your website, and then the formatting of your content. It always matters for the syntax, first syntax in the search results. So always try to be beautiful with them. Always try to be gentle with them. Always try to put logical keywords and terms in that context. The next category here comes with the YMYL pages, your money or your long pages. So in those pages, the quality standard is always expected and you should be maintaining that quality standard, because these pages are either about your money or your life. YMYL, your money, your life. Your money pages can be the transactional pages. Your life pages can be the pages which matters your life economically. For example, transaction, the health websites, the finance websites, the government websites, the law websites. They are the websites which are counted in YMYL category. YMYL stands for your money, your life category, and there is also obviously a corresponding set of keywords according to these websites. So whenever these websites are searched with the YMYL keywords, Google always ensure that a high quality content should be served to the searcher, because uh, their sensitivity of using that content is highest whenever they are sitting on the internet. So then next is about the DMCA complaints. It is like whatever website gets such kind of complaints in the digital under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that shall be penalized. So always try to make sure that you won't be stuck into these kind of complaints. So that way, It is how Google search engine algorithms work, and uh, on both fronts, search query signals also and user taste signals also. So that is all about Google search engine algorithms. And this way we are now covered with 169 factors. Now we are moving to the next slide, and here we have 35 factors, and then with this we will be like reaching to the end of the session today. On-site web spam factors are there, and then there is another category of the off-site web spam factors. Well, in the on-site factors, it is all about whatever it is coming as a spam on your own website. Off-site factors are like most of the time, if your website is harmed or attacked externally out of your website factors, someone is hacking it or someone is phishing it or like that. So the both of the kind of spamming factors are there, which makes the hit on your website, and you will be requiring to get rid of them. So there are some kind of criteria on which you will notify that if your website is get spammed on the site itself. It is the panda penalty. The panda penalty will make sure that the low quality sites, particularly content farms, get less visibility. Content farms are the user forum websites, user generated content where long debates around the topic go on live web content forums, and those have least consideration in terms of Google ranking. If you have a link from them, it doesn't make much impact in your ranking influence. So always, no, you may not be taking those links so seriously. You may have, okay, fine, get one or two, but don't make it like a warehouse of or such links on your website uselessly. Then always try to avoid the bad neighborhood redirect. You always be using the redirect so that these should be clean, but always try to make it sure that it is not used for the simple purposes. There is a big no for that. Whenever it is required, only then you will be using them. Pop-ups or distracting ads, don't try them on ever in your website or your applications. Never ever use them. They will uselessly slow down your website speed, and sometimes can create the website being spammy kind of impression to users of your website. So they will leave your website without interacting just due to this reason. Interstitial pop-ups also make your website content useless, accessible, less quotient, and it may then again give a bad impression to users. So don't try with the interstitial pop-ups also. Next point is the site over optimization. Don't go for that. Don't do stuffing, header tag stuffing, excessive keywords decoration. No, it won't make any sense. Always be balanced in your approach on these kind of parameters. Gibberish content, obviously again, auto-generated content, it won't help your website getting a ranking. Rather, it may, can defavor you in Google side. Doorway pages, no likeness for them. Google don't like such pages that if you are giving a doorway to pages, and when people are reaching there and they are like landing to something else, don't give that kind of impression. It is counted as a spammy factor. Then ads above the fold. Well, always try to not to use ads above the fold sections of your website until or unless it is justifiably agreeable for you. Then we have hiding affiliate links. Yes, obviously, cloaking is not allowed. Don't do that, and you will be penalized if you are doing that. Thread is a kind of algorithm which Google uses for targeting low value content sites that put revenue above helping their users. Thread algorithm is like a check upon the purpose of your website and your intentions in specific. If you are focusing more on just making revenue from your website, and you are derived from serving the users for the purpose your website is meant for, then Google will notify it and you will not get any kind of favor from them, and you may be like degraded in terms of ranking. Then next we have auto-generated content. Again, this point is like the same category of gibberish content, but there in the gibberish content it may be like generated by you, but in the auto-generated it is like again within uh, uh, artificially created content by robotics in the website or maybe like that. Access page ranks clustering. Going too far for by no following all outbound links may be a sign of gaming the system. Don't do that. Meta tag spamming. Always be straightforward while using keywords in your meta tags also. Don't overload them with useless keywords. It may give an impression of your website stuck with the meta tag spamming. So these are 16 factors around your website with the on-site kind of activities which may give an impression to Google search crawlers so that your website is very kind of spamming website or something not trustworthy. Now we move to the off-site web spam factors. Here, hacked sites. Obviously, your website should not be in the hacked category. Otherwise, it may lose all of your ranking. So always make sure that your website is protected from hackers, and that way you will be able to make your things better. Then we have unnatural influx of phony links. Phony links are like tricky links which will confuse the search engines. It will not help them to understand the purpose, the context of your website. So always try not to use them. Then penguin penalty. It focuses on filtering out bad links versus entire site. There are cases when some sites entirely bad, sometimes they have some bad links. So Penguin always categorize them, always segmentize them, and then penalize your website accordingly. So again here for both, be it a link on your website or be it your entire website, don't try to be getting in bad words with penguin penalty of Google. The next point here comes with the link profile with high percent of low quality links. They are counted as black hat practices. For example, I just told you that if there is a website with domain rank less than 20, don't go for a link from them. It shall be counted like no, it won't give you impression in terms of better Google ranking, and you may be degraded. Then you have links from unrelated websites. There is no use of those links. Don't link your website with unrelated website of your market niche, your business domain. Don't go with that. Unnatural links warning. Always check your search console. You will get notified with such kind of warnings if something is right there on your website, which can be shown, which can be trust, or which can be inserted in your website by spammers or hackers or like that. If something happens on your website similar to that, you will get notified in the Google Search Console. So that is why it is very critically important to have a Google Search account and it is properly connected with your website. The next point here is the low quality directory links. Obviously, no use. Don't go for that. Widget links. Don't go for that. Poison anchor text, don't go for that. They intend to increase your page ranking. Say complete no to them. But in real sense, they won't increase, they will degrade you. Then unnatural link spike, they are devalued. Don't go for that. Manual actions, yeah, there are Google human reviewers, uh, uh, human reviewers sitting to analyze the content of your website, and if they will find something unfavorable, they will obviously then be treating your website accordingly. Selling links, don't sell links for money. Don't go for this practice. Like if someone is asking link from your website in monetary amounts, don't do that. Neither give that, neither take that, nor take that. Then Google Sandbox. Obviously, if there is a sudden influx of backlinks on your website, it shall raise the eyebrows of Google on you, and they will put your website under scrutiny. So always try to have a speedy flow of backlinks on your website. Don't get it in very limited moments, I will say, or instant moments, I will say. Make it a segmented process or a fragmented process, I will say that. Divide them on time basis and then only link your website with the backlinks. Otherwise, you will be put in the sandbox by the Google. Then there is Google Dance algorithm, which Google make it used to set up rankings to test any gaming on their algorithm. It is about self-introspection of Google algorithms, and Google call it as the Google dance. Whenever they will dance, you you will also feel that, and your website will also get the impact. So, in case if it is something not found okay for them, your ranking will be disturbed. Then we have the Desavo tool. Always try to use this tool because it will help in removing the manual or algorithmic penalties on your website. This is a tool to use. If in case you are stuck in such kind of penalties, go for it. It will help you or at least make you understand what is the issue and how to get rid of it. Then we have the reconsideration request. Whenever you stuck in the penalty with Google, always go for a reconsideration request to them through their help center or whatever possible way of communication you may have at that moment, and ask them to reconsider your request, and it can obviously get lift the penalty from your website if you will be able to justifiably define and defend your case. Then there is always a temporary link scheme. Don't make it as such a big favorable game for you because it is always counted as a spamming activity. So avoid it always. So that way we cover up the 204 Google ranking factors around your website, and I hope that you may have enjoyed this session. Now I will be moving to a summary or sum up or wrapping up round, and just let us go to the next slide. So out of all these 200 factors, these are the 8 factors which you should be primarily as a must, you should be focusing on them. You may define many of the factors around these keywords out of the 204 factors out there over, but as an overview, these are 8 factors. Always make sure you have very good wrapping domains. You have a very good organic CTR, domain authority is very good of your website, mobile usability is very good. Dwell time, it's like the time spending on your website is always remarkable. Total number of backlinks, obviously it matters, but don't collect them blindly. Then obviously the content quality is the master, and then on-page SEO. Always making sure that you at least go and do these minimum activities. So all these 204 factors matters in combination, depending on the kind of website you have, depending on the kind of purpose you may be serving. Then these are some general facts about the SERP, like whenever the number one results on Google appears, they have an average 3.8 times more backlinks than any link on the number 2 or 10 position. This is the finding of Brian Dean, Backlinko. He is the owner of Backlinko website and the master of the SEO activities. Then the median page loading speed for a Google top 10 result is 1.65 seconds. So you may note that here if you want to be in top 10 results, always try to retain your loading time around by this one. Then average page takes 10 seconds to load on desktop and 27 seconds to load on mobile page. But you are not average. If you have to be in top, then you have to make it clear. not with 10 seconds. If you will be, your website will be loading in 10 seconds, you will never get top 10 ranking. So it is about the average pages. Okay, it is a general statement here, but the standard one is this one. The next point is the better to get 10 links from different sites than 10 links from the same domain. Well, obviously, uh, if you will be getting 10 or 100 links from same domain, it shall be counted as one only. And if you are getting 10 links from 10 different domains, they shall be counted as 10. So that is why it is always strategically, tactfully, smart way of creating backlinks that you approach 10 different websites to get links for your website instead of getting 10 or even more links from the same website. Most title tags on Google first page contain keywords that are an exact or partial match of that search. So that is also a point to note that why it is so important that you should have the keywords in your meta descriptions, taggings, etc. Then the next point is the most titles contain 65% to 85% of the keyword. Yes, your keywords appearing in the search ranking, they are like that. Then H1 tag is also again the same almost ratio here you have. Then page rank 1 6 have a URL rating of 12. The median URL rating of 711 is 11 rating. The mean word count of a Google first page result is 1447, which we already also have talked in the earlier slides. URL at position 1 are 9.2 characters shorter versus URL at ranking 10. No correlation between schema markup and ranking. Schema markup is just used for the beautification, the structuring of the website, and it has least to do with the ranking. The quality is defined there. It is used for that purpose mainly. So that way, now we move to the next slide. Here I have some abbreviations used in this presentation, and I have listed them here at one place for your easiness, so you can make it read of all of this. This is the bibliography used in preparation of this presentation. This is a book, and these are the web references I have used for uh, making this presentation. And that way, we move to the last here today, the wrap up round. Obviously, we have talked about some practices in the presentation. If you want to have this presentation, just message me or email me or comment on my Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube profiles. Then any question round, if in case you have any question, just let me have a last look there. Yeah, okay, thank you, Hari. Uh, yes, then what will we move now? The next point is the suggestions and feedback. Always welcome. Please leave your comments or feedback in terms of any suggestion you may have on quality of these presentations also, and the content in the presentations also. In the next session, we shall be coming up with the web analytics tool, the Google Analytics in specific. This shall be a dedicated session just on a particular tool, that is Google Analytics. So thank you for your participation, and uh, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay with family. Okay, take care. Bye bye.